Okay, shall I start now? Shall I? Okay, now listen to me. We are going to deal with today case 2, as well as we will complete today, try to complete relative motion in 2D also. So yesterday we learned that, consider here is an inclined plane. Auntie, enough. Okay, consider an inclined plane, and from inclined plane an object is being projected, and this we got angle of inclination. Yesterday we substituted phi. Okay, and object is being thrown from downward towards the upward side in this direction, na? Yes or no? And we said that this is the angle of what? Projection. Got my point? And we also found some basic thing, that is what G is acting in the downward direction. And over here one more component of G is acting, that is what, if this is also theta, then obviously this becomes phi. If this is phi, this also becomes phi. Yes or no? Then this is what? G cos of phi. Similarly, we also represented in the opposite direction over here, and this is what? Your G of sin phi. Yes or no? Okay. Now, if I resolve the components of u, if this is u, then I will be writing over here, this is your uy, and exactly opposite to acceleration, that is what? In this direction, can I represent this one as ux, that is what? U cos of theta, and this one is what? U sin of theta. So yesterday we learned that in inclined plane there will be an acceleration along x-axis also, and acceleration along x-axis is nothing but g sin of phi. Yes, negative. Why we are writing negative first thing? Because it is acting in the downward direction. And one more reason. Yes, the other reason is velocity is in this direction and acceleration is acting opposite to that. That means this acceleration will decrease this velocity or increase this velocity? Yes, decrease this velocity. Similarly, this acceleration, that is g cos of phi, is also decreasing uy velocity. That's the reason we will be writing what? Negatives. Or yes or no? But now in case 2, we will throw the object from here in this direction. Or yes or no? So write down the heading. Case 2, object projected from inclined surface or inclined plane in downward direction. In what? Downward direction. Now listen to me. So this is your case 2. Consider this is your inclined surface again, and the angle of inclination is given again by phi. Okay, now if I project the object from the top in the downward direction, first resolve the G. Can I say that G is acting in this direction? One component will be in this direction, that is what? G cos of phi. Why? Because if this is phi, this also becomes phi. Yes or no? And one more component of G will be acting in this direction, that means over here. Then can I say that this is nothing but ax, and this is value is a sin of phi. And can I say that this is acceleration along y-axis? Can I say that? Okay. Now consider an object is being projected in this direction with initial velocity u. Consider it is having an angle of projection, that is what? Theta. Then obviously I will be resolving the component and writing over here, the one component is acting in this direction, then that is what? Your ux, and this ux is nothing but u cos of theta. Can I write like this? Okay. Similarly, one more component which is perpendicular to ux, that is what? Uy, and the uy can be written as u sin of theta. Yes? Okay. Now, what is the difference between yesterday's projection and today's projection? When the object is being projected in the upward direction, we got acceleration along x-axis as well as along y-axis, both negative. Why? Because ux is acting in this direction, and acceleration of ux is in opposite direction. That's the reason we substituted negative sign. Similarly, can I also say that if uy is acting in this direction, acceleration along over here is acting in the opposite direction? Yes or no? Okay. That is the reason in last example we written that acceleration along x-axis is what? Minus g sin of phi, acceleration along y-axis is minus g cos of phi, and ux is what? U cos theta, and uy is what? U sin theta. Yes or no? So these are the values of yesterday's question when object is being projected on an inclined surface from downward in upward direction. Yes or no? Okay, now what is happening? Acceleration along x-axis and velocity along x-axis both are in the same direction. See here, velocity in x-axis is acting in this direction, acceleration is also acting in the same direction. Then can I say that acceleration along x-axis is nothing but g sine of theta, phi, but with positive sign. So can I write over here ux is nothing but u cos of theta, uy is nothing but u sine of theta, and acceleration along x-axis is what? G sine of phi, and acceleration along y-axis is minus g cos of phi. Yes or no? Okay. Why negative? Uy is in this direction, ay is in opposite direction. Okay. With these values, we can calculate what? Range, time, h max, velocity at any time t, or velocity at any height h, and we can also substitute the value in tan alpha. Yes or no? Okay. Calculate this. Okay, आ गया सभी का आंसर? सभी का आ गया? tan alpha तक हो गया? Velocity at any time t h. Okay, very good. अच्छा, मुझे अभी डिफरेंस बताओ क्या क्या देखा? What are the differences you have found? Time period is same. Yes, very good. H max is yes. Range difference positive आ गया. Okay. Remaining alpha और इसका time with negative signs are changed ना. Okay, very good. Okay, let me try then. And those who haven't got the answers, please listen to me. We all having the values to substitute in what? In equations. So how we calculate the time period? Let us say the time period, and time period is calculated with what? Sy. Sy is nothing but uit plus of half of ay t square. Yes or no? Ground to ground projection, it look like this value becomes what? 0. Obviously it becomes 0 when the object is being projected here. It will be landing on the inclined surface. If I rotate this, it look like Sy is what? 0. Okay. Now what is Uy? Uy is nothing but, so 0 is equals to Uy, that is what? U sine of theta into t minus of half of Ay is what? G of cos phi t square, or can I cancel from here one t and one t? Then can I write u sine of theta is equals to half times of g cos phi into t. Can I? Okay. Or rearranging this, I will be getting what? Time period equation, that is what? 2 sine of theta upon g cos of phi. So why time period is same? Yes, time period is dependent on what? Vy velocity, that means uy velocity. Are yes or no? Okay. Similarly, we can calculate h max also. So let us calculate the h max. H max is been derived from Vy square. Yes. So Vy square is equals to, can I write Uy square plus of 2Ay Sy? Are yes or no? At h max, velocity along y-axis becomes 0. So this becomes 0. So 0 is equals to Uy is what? U sine of theta's square plus of, minus लिख दूं क्या direct? So minus of 2g cos of phi into h max. Can I? Or rewriting this equation, then I will be writing what? H max is nothing but u square sine square theta upon 2g cos phi. Again, this also is same, only range changes. Right on. Jaldi likho. Let us calculate the range now. And range equation is taken from Sx. So Sx is nothing but uxt plus of half of ax t square, and this is nothing but your range. Ux is what? U cos of theta. Time period is what? 2u sine theta upon g cos phi. Okay. Then acceleration along x-axis is positive. Yes, very good. So positive times of half of acceleration along x-axis is nothing but g cos phi into t square, then this becomes 2u sin theta upon g cos phi square. Or yes or no? If they provide the value, substitute and get the answer. Simple. No need to simplify more than this. Similarly, we can calculate velocity at any time t, velocity at any height h also. Yes or no? Okay, then velocity at any time t can be written as Vy is nothing but Ui minus of, can I write Ayt, and Ayt is nothing but g cos of phi into t. Any time t. So, and Ui can also be written as this one. sorry. So ux is nothing but Vx is nothing but ux minus of g sine of theta, plus of theta into t. Thank you very much. Similarly, we can also write for any height h, and then any height h is nothing but Vy is nothing but under the root of uy square plus of, इसको minus कर देंगे अभी. So 2 times of Ay is nothing but g cos of phi into any height h, and ux can be written as, Vx can be written as under the root of ux square plus of 2g sine of phi into any height h. Yes or no? Okay. Similarly, tan alpha always remains same. That is what tan alpha is nothing but Vy upon Vx. Okay? Very good. Write down and rub the board. Now listen to me. This is the final portion of what? Projectile. And I will draw 4 different diagrams. You have to comment on x-axis velocity. Okay? If I project the object vertically upward, when it comes down, it hits the ground. Yes or no? Okay. This is the diagram number 1. No one will be telling unless I ask you. Okay. Now, the second thing. If I project the object in this direction, it will also hit the ground. Yes or no? Okay. Similarly, from inclined surface, if I project from what? Downward direction towards upside like this. Okay. And let's say this is your 4th diagram. You are projecting in this direction like this. Okay, these are the 4 diagrams. Now, tell me what is the value of ux in this one? 0. So can I say that ux is what? 0. Either it is going in the upward direction or in the downward direction. There is no velocity, that's the reason ux is what? 0, and vx is also 0. Can I? Okay. Similarly, let us come to this one. This is the ground to ground case now. This one is what? Ground to ground case. Then you will be having ux and vx both. So this is your ui and this is your ux. Yes or no? Okay. Consider this is your theta. Theta 30, 40, whatever it may be. Okay. We all know that it will hit the ground with the same velocity with ux and ui. And the angle is also will be remaining same. That is what? Theta. That means if ux velocity is 30 during the projection, then when it hits the ground, it will be having same velocity, that is ux. Yes or no? 30. Similarly, during the projection, if it is having a ui velocity, let's say 40, definitely when it is hitting the ground, it will be having the same velocity. It will have the same angle. It will be having same initial velocities. In this case, ax is 0, na? So ax is what here? 0. Even though velocity remains constant, it will hit the same velocity in x-axis. But even with what initial velocity having an acceleration ay, and ay is constant here, that is what? G. At this point, you will be finding the same velocity when it is hitting the ground. If this is u, then it will hit the ground with the same velocity u. I got my point? अरे ux इसीलिए रेफरेंट कर रहा है बेटा. ले ये 30 तो ये भी 30, ये 40 तो ये भी 40, ये थीटा कुछ भी ले ले एंगल तो ये भी उतना ही आएगा ना। अरे यस और नो, इसका जितना वेलोसिटी रहेगा हिट करने पे भी उतना ही वेलोसिटी रहेगा। गॉट माय पॉइंट नाउ? ओके, बट इन दिस केस we found that acceleration is along x-axis, acceleration is along y-axis. Yes or no? That means, can I say that both x-axis and y-axis can have a value 0? इधर कितने वैल्यू 0 हुए? Only one, and only one, that to be at h max. Here at h max vy becomes 0, but ux never becomes 0. Are yes or no? Initial velocity along the along x-axis velocity never changes, and at h max also ux never become 0. But one thing is getting 0, that is what? Vy value. But whenever we are projecting on an inclined surface, and we are throwing in the upward direction, we came to know that at h max Vy becomes 0. Wherever Vy becomes 0, then we can consider that point as what? H max. Yes or no? Okay. But what about x-axis velocity? Will it become 0 here, or it won't become 0 at all in any cases? नहीं बनेगा? Okay. देखते हैं ध्यान से. What is the acceleration here? Exactly opposite. That is what? G cos of phi. Yes or no? Because of this acceleration, Vy is getting 0 at certain point. Yes. Why? First thing, velocity is in that direction, acceleration is acting in the opposite direction. Definitely due to the deceleration, that means velocity get reduces to 0, then again it increases from h max. Yes or no? Okay. But ux is in this direction and ax is also opposite to this direction. Now, yes. So ax, that means velocity along x-axis can also be 0 in projection in an inclined plane if the object is being thrown in the upward direction. Got my point? So here ax and ay both are opposite to what? Ux and uy. So there are chances of having ux velocity, that means x-axis velocity is 0 and y-axis velocity definitely it becomes 0 at h max. Are yes or no? Now comment on this one. Same thing. अच्छा, चलो देखते हैं. Opposite होगा. चलो देखते हैं, अभी देखते हैं. Now we know that ux is acting in this direction, ax is acting in the same direction. Can I say that this acceleration along x-axis is helping the velocity to increase or decrease? Increase. मान लो if I projected with whatever the velocity and I found that initial velocity along x-axis is 10 meter per second. Velocity along x-axis is increasing or decreasing? Increasing. तो क्या chances है? There is no chances of having velocity along x-axis to be 0 when the object is being thrown in the from inclined plane from top to on the downward direction. Are yes or no? But y-axis, हाँ वो तो 0 हो जाएगा. So over here at h max Vy becomes what? Whatever the scenario is at h max Vy becomes what? 0. And wherever Vy becomes 0, then that particular point can also be only called as what? H max. Are you got my point? Okay. लिख लो इसको साइड में. Now again I will draw two diagram. You have to comment on that two diagrams. One inclined plane, same angle phi, with the same angle. Here is also same inclined plane. Okay. Now, if I throw from top in this direction, question is, will it follow this and hit the ground at 90 degree? At 90 degree. एक question इसमें. Second scenario is, in this one, we are throwing from the downward. ये जाके ऐसे 90 degree बनाएगा. Which one is possible and which one is not possible? सोचो, सोच के बोलो। इसमें नहीं बनाएगा, क्यों नहीं बनाएगा? Yes, very good. Over here, acceleration is in the downward direction. That means acceleration is acting in this direction. And ux is also acting in this direction. Both are in the same direction. That means over here, ux can't be negative, or sorry, ux can't be equal to what? 0. Over here, acceleration is acting in this direction. That is what ax, isko likh deta hu. And velocity along x-axis is acting in this direction. Over here, there are chances of velocity to be 0. Velocity to be 0. If velocity, whenever the velocity becomes 0, देखो ऐसा पढ़े, ये थ्रो किए यहाँ आके गिर गया. So what is the velocity at this point? X-axis velocity is 0. X-axis velocity becomes 0. Only left out is what? That is what? Y, velocity along y direction. So over here, ux or vx लिख दो इसको बेहतर. Vx is equals to what? 0. Vx is equals to 0. Only left out is what? Sorry, in this there is no one. Over here, sorry. So over here, can I write Vx is equals to 0? Yes, there are chances over here. There is no chance of getting velocity along x-axis. Never becomes 0. Are I got my point? So let us frame the question on this one only. Okay, shall I? Now listen to me. I will draw the diagram. Phi is the angle. An object is being projected. An object is being projected with theta angle with initial velocity u in such a way that it hits the ground and makes the angle 90 degree. Makes the angle 90 degree. ऐसा क्वेश्चन दिया है. Find the relation between theta and phi. That's it. Okay, try karo. So can I say that at this point Vx becomes 0? Vx is what? 0. You will be having Vy value. You will be having Vy value, and Vy will be represented by what? If they ask you Vy, then Vy at any time t or any height, at height to 0 ho jayega. So at any time t, then I can be writing uy minus of g cos of phi into t. Yes or no? Okay. But at this point, Vx becomes what? 0. So Vx is can be written as, can I write ux minus of g sine of phi into t? Can I write like this? Can I? Okay. Vx is what? 0. So this becomes 0. Then left out is what? Minus times of ux is equals to minus g sine of phi into t. Can I cancel this negative and negative? But what about this? Let us substitute the value, and what will be the time value? Time period formula, we know that in an inclined plane, t is nothing but 2u sine of theta upon, sorry, g cos of phi. Are yes or no? Substituting the time value, equating this, and ux is what? U cos theta. So u cos theta, which is equals to, can I write g sine of phi into the time value, that is what? 2u sine of theta upon g cos phi. Yes or no? Okay. Can I cancel this g and g? Can I? And anything? U can also be cancelled out. Left out is what? Cos theta upon, can I take over here as sine theta? Are yes or no? Which is equals to, left out is over here what? 2 sine phi upon cos phi. That means, can I say that cot theta is nothing but 2 tan of phi? Khatam answer. Are yes or no? Right on. Shall I? Again, I will draw the diagram. You have to tell me the relation between theta and phi. Now, the next example is, an object is being projected. An object is being projected on an inclined surface, that is what? Phi, in such a way that the projectile or the parabola just crosses what? like this. Okay, let's say this one is having a height h and it crosses over here. अच्छा थोड़ा ध्यान से सोचो, करने से पहले थोड़ा डिटेल बताओ. This is your u and this is your what, theta. At this point, what is the value of Vy? 0. So for Vy at this point becomes 0 and it will be having Ux and whatever it may be. So this is Ux. थोड़ा ध्यान से देखो. Check like ground to ground. So this is your ground projection initial, that is your point of projection, and this is your point of landing. And by seeing this diagram, I can say something. And what are the things I can say? First thing, when the object is being projected with an angle theta plus phi. दिख रहा है? If I project the angle an object with initial velocity u, but angle should be theta plus of phi, then can I call this as your range? Yes, ground to ground. Similarly, then this becomes half of the range. H max reaches at half of the range. Yes or no? So can I also say that the time period required from origin to point of landing, let's say t, then object will reach at h max in t by 2 seconds. नहीं आया? देखो बेटा, प्रोजेक्टेड फ्रॉम ग्राउंड, ये हिट करेगा इधर ग्राउंड पे, यहां से यहां आने के लिए उसको कुछ टाइम लगेगा, टी टाइम. ग्राउंड टू ग्राउंड टाइम पीरियड का फॉर्मूला क्या है? टाइम पीरियड फॉर ग्राउंड टू ग्राउंड इज नथिंग बट व्हाट, 2u sin थीटा अपॉन g. अरे यस और नो? बट यहां पे 2u sin थीटा g, ये एंगल कितना होना चाहिए? थीटा प्लस ऑफ फाइव. वेरी गुड. सो थीटा प्लस ऑफ फाइव. यस और नो? ओके. टाइम पीरियड टू रीच एट एच मैक्स, क्या इसका आधा होगा? हाफ ऑफ दिस टाइम. यस और नो? सो दिस इज फुल time of flight. Time of flight for h max till h max, that means this half by 2, whatever the value is divided by 2 is the time period to reach the h max. Second thing, for ground to ground, ध्यान से सुनो, for ground to ground, from here to here, if I check over here, at this point Vy velocity is getting 0. Yes or no? But for inclined surface, इसको देखो सिर्फ, check this inclined surface, can I call this is also h max? And this h max, यहां पे Vy velocity 0 हो रहा है क्या? नहीं हो रहा होगा ना? सोच के देखो, हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है? जल्दी सोचो. Whenever we are calculating at h max, Vy we are considering 0. Yes or no? Yes. If we are considering Vy is 0, then how can I say that at two different points a projectile can have velocity 0? No, na? So whenever we are calculating this h max, velocity is only getting 0 at this point only. ये इसका h max है, इस inclined surface का h max है. ये जो इंक्लाइन सरफेस दिख रहा है ना, फॉर दिस इंक्लाइन सरफेस दिस इज द एच मैक्स. अरे यस और नो? फ्रॉम ग्राउंड टू ग्राउंड दिस इज द एच मैक्स. अरे गॉट माय पॉइंट? वेयर इज द वेलोसिटी गेटिंग 0? ओनली एट दिस पॉइंट. इज Vy वेलोसिटी गेटिंग 0 ओवर हियर? मे बी, मे नॉट बी. ऐसा कैसा चलेगा? ओवर हियर, पहले ये बोलो, सोच के बोलो, इन अ पैराबोला लाइक दिस, इन अ पैराबोला, यहां पे वेलोसिटी Vy 0 हो रहा है. यस, दैट इज ट्रू, एंड वी आर सेइंग दिस एज दी एच मैक्स. क्या यहां पे भी वेलोसिटी Vy 0 हो रहा होगा? नहीं हो रहा होगा ना. अगर हो रहा होता तो ये और ऊपर कैसा जाता? Whenever Vy velocity is getting 0, object won't go further away na, in the upward direction. Yes or no? So if the question is asked, a body is being projected with such an angle that the height at h max, the height of the inclination, the body getting a velocity 0, then what will be the h max of the projectile? किसके रेफरेंस में पूछ रहा है? ग्राउंड टू ग्राउंड के पूछ रहा है और ओनली दिस वन? अरे यस और नो? सो बी केयरफुल, थ्योरी में थोड़ा ट्विस्ट कर देगा क्वेश्चन को. अरे यस और नो? ओके. नाउ सो इट वोंट हैव 2 points. It won't have 2 points for velocity in y direction to be 0. It will have only 1 point where vy velocity getting 0. चलो अपने टॉपिक पे आते हैं. Let us come back to our topic. So time period for ground to ground can be written as like this. Yes or no? Time period to reach that point. Can I use the inclined plane time period? So from here to here, can I use the time period of inclined time or inclined plane? लिख दो इसको. So time period for inclined plane can be written as 2u sin theta upon g cos of phi. Can I write like this? Can I? Now compare these two time period. Comparing these two time period, can I say that time period to ground is equals to time period of inclined time or inclined plane? This is nothing but and this is nothing but, किसको डिवाइड करूं, किसको मल्टीप्लाई करूं? यस, वेरी गुड. सो आई हैव टू डिवाइड दिस बाय 2 और आई हैव टू मल्टीप्लाई दिस बाय 2. सब्स्टिट्यूटिंग इक्वेशन एंड गेट द आंसर. कम ऑन. ओके, एवरीवन गॉट द आंसर ना? सो सब्स्टिट्यूटिंग द वैल्यू, सो उसके आगे सॉल्व मत करो बेटा, नो नीड टू सॉल्व दैट. So 2u sin theta plus of phi upon this one becomes what? G, which is equals to, this time period is nothing but 2u sin theta upon what? G cos of phi. And multiplying this by, dividing this by 2. So can I cancel this 2 and 2? Can I cancel this u and u? G. So can I say that sine of theta plus of phi is nothing but 2 sine of theta upon cos phi. बस इसको इतना ही रखो. No need to expand this by sin a plus b. Okay, right on. Okay, shall I? One last question on this topic, then projectile is completed. Then we will discuss with what? Relative motion in 2D. Okay, now consider there is an inclined surface. There is an inclined surface having a phi 90 degree and object is being projected. Object is being projected like this with initial velocity u. This is 90 degree. Okay, find range, पता करो इसका, time period, h max. Calculate all these three and tell me also velocity at any time t and velocity at any height h. ये बताओ. Then how to write tan alpha. ये तो छोड़ो, vy upon vx. इतना कैलकुलेट करो जल्दी. सभी का आ गया? बस enough. Now can I say that this one ux is 0? Yes. Okay. And vx and uy is what? u. uy is u and ux is what? 0, क्योंकि perpendicular projection हो रहा है ना. Those who have taken this, their answer is correct, and those who haven't taken this, their answers are wrong. Now listen to me. Let us calculate the time period first. So time period we always calculate with sy. Sy is nothing but uyt plus of half of ayt square. Are yes or no? Acceleration along x-axis, we know that this becomes what? G cos of phi with negative sign, positive sign. ऊपर से नीचे फेंक रहा ना, नेगेटिव साइन. एक्सेलरेशन अलोंग वाई एक्सिस पॉजिटिव रहेगा, लेकिन इनिशियल वेलोसिटी 0 रहेगा. एक्सेलरेशन क्यों 0 हो जाएगा बेटा? ये तो g है, इसका एक्सेलरेशन तो रहेगा ना इधर ax, एंड दिस इज व्हाट? g ऑफ साइन ऑफ फाई. अरे यस और नो? एक्सेलरेशन 0 नहीं होता है. ओके, नाउ so from here to here this becomes 0, and this is nothing but uy is nothing but u sine of theta into t, and which is equals to, can I write half of this becomes g cos of phi into t square. 1t cancel, anything else nothing, so t is nothing but 2u sin theta upon g cos phi. आ गया सभी का ये? हाँ ये आएगा, मुझे पता है, एच मैक्स भी आएगा. सो एच मैक्स इज नथिंग बट यू स्क्वायर साइन स्क्वायर थीटा अपॉन जी कॉस फाई. आ गया ये भी, आ गया. ओके, रेंज क्या निकाले? यस, वेरी गुड. रेंज में आपको मिलेगा एस एक्स. सो एस एक्स इज नथिंग बट यू एक्स टी प्लस ऑफ हाफ ऑफ a x t square, and this is nothing but range, and this value becomes 0. So this is nothing but half times of ax. क्या होगा इधर? g sin of phi into t square, and t we have this one, and that is nothing but 2u sin theta upon g cos of phi squared. Okay, velocity at any time. Yes, वो भी हो जाएगा. So Vx, velocity in y direction is nothing but u sin of theta. Oh, तेरे दर्द दे रहा है इधर. Okay, so Vy is nothing but u sin of theta and minus times of g of cos of phi into t. Or Vx is nothing but u cos of theta, and this value is 0. So no need to mention this. Left out is what? Only g sin of phi into t. Are yes or no? Similarly, Vy at any height h. So Vy at any height h is nothing but under the root of u square sin square theta minus times of minus plus हो जाएगा, छोड़ दो. So minus times of बोलो बे minus of 2 times of ay is nothing but a cos theta, g of cos phi into any height h, or ux can be written as vx can be written as under the root of this becomes 0, so no need to write. Left out is what? Minus times of minus into minus, that one becomes plus now. Okay, so left out is what? 2 times of g sin of phi into height h. ये वैल्यूज आएंगे. हो गया सभी का? चलो, राइट द नेक्स्ट हेडिंग.